Autograph Fisherman here, and this is Remember That Show. This is where I pull a show from our past and do a bio on it. This week is a bit odd because technically it is still running. This week is a part 2 of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Whose Line Is It Anyway? American TV series. Genre comedy. Created by Dan Patterson, Mark Levison. Presented by Drew Carey, Aisha Tyler. Starring Ryan Stiles, Colin Mochrie, Wayne Brady. Country of origin United States. Original language English. Number of seasons 21. Number of episodes 431. Production. Running time 22 minutes. Production companies. Hat Trick Productions. Warner Brothers Television. Seasons 1 to 8. Angst Productions Season 9 present. Warner Horizon Television Season 9 present. Original release. Network ABC. Release August 5th, 1998. September 4th, 2004. Network ABC Family. Release January 17th, 2005. December 15th, 2007. Network The CW. Release July 16th, 2013. Present. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Sometimes shortened to Whose Line? Or WLIA. Is an American improvisational comedy television series and is an adaptation of the British series of the same name. It originally aired on ABC and ABC Family from August 5th, 1998 to December 15th, 2007, hosted by Drew Carey. A revival of the show, hosted by Aisha Tyler, began airing on the CW on July 16th, 2013. Colin Mochrie, Ryan Stiles, with the exception of 2 episodes in Season 10, and Wayne Brady, with the exception of 4 episodes in Season 1 and 4 episodes in Season 8, have been permanent performers on the show since the first season. The 4th seat is occupied by a guest panelist. In May 2024, the show was renewed for a 21st season, which premiered on September 6, 2024. Format. The show consists of a panel of 4 performers who create characters, scenes, and songs on the spot, in the style of short-form improvisation games. Topics of the games are based on either audience suggestions or predetermined prompts from the host, who would set up a game and situation that the performers would improvise. 3. The original host Drew Carey awarded arbitrary point values after each game, often citing a humorous reason for his decision. The points were purely decorative and served no practical purpose. He would reiterate this at the beginning of and multiple times throughout each episode by describing Whose Line as the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. The style of the games were varied. See games below. Some featured all 4 performers, while others featured fewer. Between games, the performers sat in 4 chairs facing the audience. The performers who were not involved in the game remained in their seats. Additionally, the show was marked by humorous banter among the performers and host. At the conclusion of each episode, a winner or several winners were chosen arbitrarily by Carey. The prize was either to play a game with the host or to sit out while the other performers did so. After this game during the first season of the series, credits simply rolled under the show's theme. In the second season, the reading of the credits was performed by one or more cast members in a comedic fashion, based on a theme announced by Carey that often derived from a successful joke earlier in the show. The show's short-form approach to improv received criticism from some improv actors who, performer Colin Mochrie has stated the show was never intended to be the be-all and end-all of improv, but that it was meant to introduce improv to the masses, performers/players. Each episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Features 4 performers, Ryan Stiles and Colin Mochrie, both of whom have been major performers on the original UK series, have been permanent performers on the US series since its inception. Due to illness, Stiles missed 2 episodes of Season 10 and 1 episode of Season 19, meaning Mochrie is the only person to appear in every episode of the US show. Wayne Brady, who had first appeared in the last season of the UK series, appeared in several episodes of the first US season, before joining Stiles and Mochrie as a permanent performer in every episode from Season 2 onwards, a brief exception being Season 8, where he appeared in 17 of the 21 episodes. During his tenure as host, Drew Carey also took part, though only in 1 game, after one of the performers was declared the winner and allowed to take his place at his desk in the studio. Current host Aisha Tyler does not take part in games, but occasionally joins in for quick scenes on different games, mostly scenes from a hat. The fourth performer on the show alternates. As well as Styles and Mockery, other veterans of the UK series who regularly appear on the US series are Greg Proops, Brad Sherwood, and Chip Eston. Kara Murayama, who appeared in 3 episodes of the UK series' last 2 seasons, appeared in several episodes of the US series' first 2 seasons. The US version also introduced several newcomers, including Denny Siegel, Kathy Greenwood, Jeff Davis, Patrick Bristow, who appeared in 1 episode of the last UK season, Stephen Colbert, Kathy Kinney, Ian Gomez, Gary Anthony Williams, Jonathan Mangum, Heather and Campbell, Keegan-Michael Key, and Naima Funk. Another of the UK series' major performers, Josie Lawrence, appeared in 2 episodes of the US series during Season 2. Like the UK series, the US series occasionally featured a celebrity guest performer, such as Robin Williams, Kathy Griffin, and Whoopi Goldberg. On some occasions, in a feature that was unique to the US version, a celebrity made a guest appearance for individual games. Such appearances have included Sid Caesar, David Hasselhoff, Florence Henderson, Jerry Springer, Joni China Laura, Richard Simmons, Katie Harmon, Jane Tershka, the Loyola Marymount University cheerleaders Hugh Hefner, and Lassie. 5-6. Celebrity guests became a regular feature of the show beginning with Season 9. Improvisational musician Laura Hall, who replaced Richard Vranch as the in-house musician for the final UK season, has been part of the US series for an entire run and performed piano and keyboards in games featuring improvisational singing by the cast members. Hall, originally from Chicago, gained valuable experience for Whose Line? By performing as a pianist for various theater and improvisational companies, including the Second City and the Improv Institute. From the second season onward, other musicians joined Hall. Linda Taylor made frequent appearances playing guitar and occasionally keyboards, while Cece War-Rubin and King, Kenny Gerard, and Anna Wanselius appear alongside Hall, and sometimes also Taylor, on occasion. Games. The number and type of games played varied from episode to episode. Yet while some games became more common over time, others faded from use. Some games are based on traditional improv games, with a considerable number brought over from the British original, including scenes from A Hat, Greatest Hits, Props, Hoedown, Helping Hands, Questions Only, and Party Quirks. Others were new and uniquely created for both the American original format and the revived show, with several only being played once or twice, due either to the games not having been well received by audiences or the style's reluctance to perform certain rounds. There are 8 games that have been performed at least once in every season. These are Scenes from a Hat, Greatest Hits, Props, Let's Make a Date, Weird Newscasters, Duet, Helping Hands, and Questions Only. All games are designed to test a performer's improvisational comedy skills, with some games requiring the host to ask the studio audience for suggestions for specific topics or situations, while at other times these suggestions were written by the production staff or submitted by the audience in advance and chosen from among these. In addition, the host would control a buzzer that would signify the end of most games or the end of individual sections of rapid-fire games, such as Scenes from a Hat. In addition to being tested on their comedy skills in improv games, the performers are also tested on other skills, such as singing, dancing, or impressions, as Whose Line features a number of musical games, with one or more of the show's resident musicians playing live backing music for them, except on a few occasions when pre-recorded music was also used. Although they had no bad feelings about these sort of games, many of the performers disliked them, while Wayne Brady turned out to be well suited to them, having Chip Eston, Jeff Davis, Brad Sherwood, and Gary Anthony Williams making frequent appearances as his duet partner. Styles frequently expressed open disdain towards a hoedown game, which became a bit of a running gag, while Mockery, who cannot sing, mainly preferred to deliver his lines in a spoken word fashion, much like in the British original. History, Whose Line Is It Anyway?, was created by Dan Patterson and Mark Levison in 1988 as a radio show on BBC Radio 4 in the United Kingdom. This early incarnation of the show is notable as being the origin of a tradition of having performers read the credits in an amusing style. As it was a radio show, it was necessary for somebody to read the credits, and it was decided that it might as well be done as part of the program. rather than being done by a traditional BBC radio announcer. This approach to reading credits was pioneered by the earlier BBC radio show I'm Sorry, I'll Read That Again. Indeed, the title of the show itself is a comedic riposte to another radio show, What's My Line, merged with the title Whose Life Is It Anyway?, a 1970s play and teleplay. The radio series lasted for 6 episodes, after which Channel 4 developed a franchise for television. The British television version lasted for a total of 10 seasons, with 136 episodes, all of which were hosted by Clive Anderson. Ryan Stiles and Colin Mochrie, who would later star in the American version, made their first appearances on the show in seasons 2, 1989, and 3, 1991, respectively. They remained regular cast members for the rest of the show's history, with Stiles becoming a permanent performer in every episode from season 7, 1995, onwards, as did Mochrie from season 8, 1996, onwards. Other regular performers on the U.S. version who first appeared on the U.K. original were Greg Proops, Chip Eston, Brad Sherwood, and Wayne Brady. Like Stiles, Proops first appeared in season 2, while Eston and Sherwood first appeared in season 4, 1992. Brady made his first appearance in the UK show's 10th and final season, 1998. Other major performers on the UK series included John Sessions, Josie Lawrence, Paul Merton, Tony Slattery, Mike McShane, and Stephen Frost. Drew Carey was a big fan of the original British series and was working with Ryan Stiles on the ABC sitcom The Drew Carey Show, Whose Line creator Dan Patterson had been trying to bring the show to the U.S., and with the success of The Drew Carey Show, Carey was able to successfully lobby ABC to produce and air a U.S. version of the series, offering a host and become one of the executive producers along with Stiles. The format of the U.S. version was very similar to the U.K. version. A major difference was Carey's use of the game show facade. While Anderson's point scoring had always been arbitrary as a joke, he still presented the points as though they had real weight towards the final outcome of the episode. Carey, meanwhile, explicitly stated at the start of each episode that the points don't matter, and sometimes emphasized this throughout the episodes. Another difference during Carey's tenure as host was in the show's ending. On the UK version, the prize for winning was to read out the closing credits. On the US version, the winner would take over as host, while Carey took part in the last game of the episode, with the performers who read out the closing credits being arbitrary. Later, when Aisha Tyler took over as host, the show reverted back to the original UK ending. The difference in standards in the UK compared to US prime time meant stricter censoring of both language and content on the US series. Production of the show was canceled by ABC in 2003 because of low ratings, with already produced episodes airing first run into 2004. The ABC Family Cable Channel, which had been airing repeats of shows since 2002, also showed new episodes from January 2005 to December 2007, formed from previously filmed but unaired performances. Hiatus. Following the cancellation, Drew Carey went on to create the short-lived Drew Carey's Green Screen Show, which premiered in 2004 on the WB. The series was very similar to Whose Line and featured many of the same cast. The major gimmick on that series was that the acting was done in front of a green screen, and animators later added cartoon imagery to the scenes. Carey and several cast members also started touring North America with a live-action show called Drew Carey's Improv All-Stars. The show was a live stage show similar to Whose Line and featuring many of the same games, though also with some new ones. The live show started in 2003, and since 2006 are only seen on occasion, mostly due to Carey's current television obligations. Colin Mochrie, Brad Sherwood, and Drew Carey performed at the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal as Improv All-Stars in 2003 and 2004. Since 2005, Mochrie and Sherwood have toured semi-regularly as an evening with Colin and Brad. The show was recorded on Stage 29 at Paramount Studios. Greg Proops and Ryan Stiles presented Stiles and Proops Unplanned, a live improv comedy show based on successful Batio and Skinner Unplanned format that took place at Centaur Theatre in Montreal, Quebec, Canada in July 2008. They also tour with former co-star Jeff Davis under the name Who's Live Anyway? Doing live improv. CW Revival. In February 2013, Ryan Stiles revealed in an interview that he would be returning to Los Angeles in April for a new season of Whose Line, hosted by Aisha Tyler and featuring the original cast of the U.S. version. 14. The revival was later officially announced on March 1st, 2013. Whose Line Is It Anyway? Returned to television in 2013, this time on the CW, with Colin Mochrie, Ryan Stiles, and Wayne Brady all returning, with Aisha Tyler taking the role of the host. Brady, who became host of Revival of Let's Make a Deal in 2009, began to concurrently star in Let's Make a Deal and Whose Line Is It Anyway? When the 2013 Revival began. Brady continues to star in both shows as of 2024. In addition to the traditional rotating fourth improv player, often drawn from the same pool of regulars that appeared on the original show, a new feature was that of a special guest. This fifth player would not necessarily have an improv background, but would still participate in some of the improv games. The initial 2013 summer run was made up of 12 half-hour episodes, with the 3 veteran players joined by a featured player, along with a different special guest for each episode who would play in some of the games. On July 29th, 2013, the CW announced that it had renewed the show for a 24-episode season, airing Fridays at 8 Eastern Time/Pacific Time starting March 21st, 2014, due to solid ratings. Illness prevented Stiles from appearing in 2 season 10 episodes, the first episodes of Whose Line not to include Stiles since episode 7 of the UK show's 6th season back in 1994. Frequent guest Greg Proops filled in for Stiles on these occasions. On July 18, 2014, the CW announced a renewal of the show for a 24-episode 11th season, which premiered on April 17, 2015. On November 4th, 2022, regular performer Mochrie had announced that the show would film its final season in January 2023, 22-23, after the CW stated that this was inaccurate as no decision had been made yet. Mochrie clarified his comments in a February 2023 interview, saying that the cast never received fair compensation, nor were paid residuals. He also said how producers and cast members referred to it as their last season, and that if the show continues afterwards, it probably won't be with this cast. Mochrie also voiced displeasure regarding the show's minimal publicizing, saying that they did most of the publicizing on their own social media. In June 2023, the CW's head of unscripted programming, Heather Olander, stated that she did not know what the future of the series beyond that was, and that they had discussed with the cast about whether they want to continue with the show. Subsequently, a new season was announced on May 16, 2024. Performers. Several of the performers, including the 3 regulars Brady, Mochrie, and Stiles, had previously appeared in the original British run of Whose Line. Other performers who had made appearances in the British version are Greg Proops, Brad Sherwood, Chip Eston, Karen Maruyama, Patrick Bristow, and Josie Lawrence, as well as musician Laura Hall. Mochrie and Stiles have been permanent players since the American show began, while Brady became a permanent player from season 2 to 7, and from season 9 onwards, appearing as a recurring performer in seasons 1 and 8. Mochrie is the only performer to have appeared in every episode of the American series of Whose Line. With Stiles having missed 2 recordings due to illness, Greg Proops is the most prolific recurring performer, having appeared in 83 episodes. The show also included occasional guest 4 chairs during the first 8 seasons, each appearing in only 1 or 2 episodes, such as Stephen Colbert, Drew Carey Show performer Kathy Kinney, Robin Williams, and Whoopi Goldberg. After the 2013 revival on the CW, celebrity guests appeared far more frequently, although only generally as an alternative to audience members in games such as Helping Hands or Living Scenery. Such special guest stars have included Vern Troyer, Penn and Teller, Bill Nye, and Alfonso Ribeiro. Occasionally more musically inclined guests, like Christopher Jackson and David Hasselhoff, also partook in singing games. The original host of the American show was Drew Carey, who appeared in every episode of seasons 1 through 8. Carey notably took more of an active role in the show than his predecessor Clive Anderson, as following the announcement of the winner of each show, Carey would perform a game with the other performers. After the CW revival in 2013, Aisha Tyler took over as host, as Carey was a host of The Price is Right, which ran at the same time as Whose Line. Carey is mentioned numerous times by Tyler and the other performers. Unlike Carrie, Tyler does not perform full games with the other performers. Nonetheless, she does occasionally interject in quick-fire games, such as scenes from a hat with her own suggestions or to help another performer with their scene. Tyler has also surpassed Carrie in tenure. Although Carrie hosted more episodes of the show, improvisational musician Laura Hall, who appeared in the final season of the British original, joined the original American format for its entire run, and performed piano, keyboards, and other instruments in games featuring improvisational singing by the cast members, such as Hoedown, Greatest Hits, and Song Styles. International broadcast. The American version of Whose Line has been broadcast in the UK, originally on Channel 4. Challenge was the first non-terrestrial channel to broadcast the show for a brief period in 2005. From 2007 to 2012, 5 USA aired the show. Since February 2021, Dave has also broadcast the show. It is also available on its on-demand service UKTV Play starting from season 11 onwards, marketed as Series 3 of the revival. Several series of the show are also available on Amazon Prime Video. In Canada, the show also ran on the CTV network from 1998 to 2003, and then on the Comedy Network from 2003 onwards. The show's original run in Australia was on the 9 network in an early morning time slot. One repeated the program from 2011. It also airs on the Comedy Channel. ABC has also aired the CW revival of the show on ABC Comedy. Home Media. The first DVD of the American version of Whose Line, Season 1, Volume 1, was released on September 26, 2006. It comes in censored or uncensored versions. Both releases include the first 10 episodes of the first season, with the episodes being the same on either version. 33. The first 7 episodes have had their original theme music, including all credits and ad bumpers, replaced with the version used for the rest of the episodes. Warner Home Video released Season 1, Volume 2 on October 9, 2007, but only in an uncensored version. Warner Home Video released a 2-disc Best of Whose Line Is It Anyway? DVD with 10 episodes on June 9, 2009. Featured in this release were celebrity guest episodes, including appearances by David Hasselhoff, Florence Henderson, Jerry Springer, Richard Simmons, and bodybuilder Jane Tershka, along with the hour-long Best of Whose Line compilation episode aired at the beginning of Season 3. Of the 219 episodes from the original 8 seasons, 186 of them are available to stream on Max. Well, that was Remember That Show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? American TV series. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any thoughts about Whose Line Is It Anyways, let me know in the comments. Keep an eye out for next week to find out what show I will do next. I have expanded to movies and game shows. Who it is? Anyone guess? Ha ha ha. Let me know if I am forgetting a fun show, game show, or movie in the comments, please. Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep on collecting. Bye.